oh no, Sonic is dead. Or is he? Oh. So I kind of like this game. So I haven't, to be clear, not really played the Sonic games. I know them, I acknowledge them, and there's even some stories like Sonic Boom that I have watched, and there are some characters that I do know, and I have looked at stuff, basically talking and even basically doing a sort of like voice actor or even talking about IDW comics, even post change. Definitely when you talk about some of the other characters, like Whisper and Tangled, I want them. They are amazing. I hear them and they sound awesome. Like I hear one thing about the Mel virus. Again, nothing to do with this. But this is where I am. I somewhat know the characters. I somewhat acknowledge them. But the only ones I really do know a lot about are the obvious Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Knuckles alongside Shadow and Rouge. So like the main ones, I know a little bit about Blaze because Blaze versus Starfire was a thing, and I watched that. And a little bit about, like I said before, learning about Tails and Whisper because they sound like amazing characters. Good. I also watched the movies and watched Sonic Boom. So those are most of my areas of expertise alongside an analytic video or two, which is basically analyzing or telling what happened in some things. Yes, yes. I like this. Most of it is kind of fun. It's acknowledged that there's sort of like a thing, and I thought it was going to be a thing of like, oh, this is just like a Sonic, like, oh, it's a game within a game, like a murder mystery, which is fun and interesting. And as you go from cart to cart, from I think it's like SBO and Vector to Rouge and no, it's Knuckles, Vespia and Espo, Rouge, and Blaze, and then the last one being Shadow, with Amy sort of being one step ahead, and we're trying to put together the pieces of who's has this situation and who's doing this. It becomes more and more interesting as you learn more and you have fun experience. But something off. So most of the time, one of the things that happened earlier on is that yeah, Sonic was dead in your mind, not a actual dead, but a well, he's the murder person. Well, this is an interactive murder mystery. Someone's the murderer as a card and does this. So the person who's the victim and the murderer are picked at random, and it's not like basically here's a script, you're the murderer, here's the victim. He's a hand. He's not real. So it's basically you play the murderer, but no one plays the victim, right? But in this, the one that Amy did with the train is that someone in the group will be will be both the culprit and someone else will be the victim. Got it? I think this is a fun idea because overall it gets that idea in your head that someone and it's really fun. And you do an example one of like, oh, something to do with like I think a broken thing of like, oh yeah, the hammer broke, which I mistakenly thought was the broom. Oh yeah, what's the strength of that? Which is only free. 1 hour, and a little bit over 1 hour because I thought I could do it in like 1 hour. I extremely misanalyzed it. But I had to go through and sort of doing this like old fashioned like left, right, like center or left or right, and trying to get rings and void things. It's basically we're doing a mystery game, but here's some Sonic elements, which is fair. Your whole thing is that, so I feel like if you don't have it in and just be like, and now do this other mini game, I feel like that wouldn't be as fun. It does mean that yes, there are certain points that you do put some things in, but there are a lot of moments where you play and sort of like here's the answer. You do have to somewhat be like, But as you carry on, the answers become clear. And it looks like it's Shadow. But something doesn't feel right. Shadow saying that SBO wasn't in the room, but he looked all around because of his keys. And then, as slowly evidence comes through and you look into the main train conductor, some of the arms look broken, which is more unusual. And then, also, there's this whole thing that I thought there was going to be a plus, and that could have been a big element. I don't know if that was just me going crazy. I legitimately think that that is the case, but that's not the point. He is the person. But why would he do this? They're friends. They have no rivalry, and this is somewhat of a jokey thing. So we're not going to be like, plot twist, he was evil the whole time. We're going to use it in other games. No, I don't think we're ever going to go that. But here's the thing. Why? Why is this like this? What is going on? And what is happening? It's all the things that you should be thinking in your head. Right? And it's interesting trying to think why this happened. And then I realized something at some point. This can't be, and I think I slightly spoiled myself, but this can't be a Sonic game without Dr. Eggman. And he's back. And I think it's really good that they sort of bring him in for like, you do have the SPO and the fun murder mystery type game, and the murder Sonic, and still being a little bit fun without, having an actual death. But then you still get, here's the villain. Here's the thing that you weren't expecting. Again, it's mostly fun, so you kind of deal with the train that deals with this computer and being like, I wanted to be with you forever. Also, there's a whole, I do know there's a whole energy system where they use these sort of like things to power the energy, and that gives the engine conscious and the small creatures a part of their consciousness, but not really. And also, the train does end, and I think that's interesting. Of like being like, shut the train down, and I like it. Again, this is mostly fun, but because I found this, someone talked about this, I'm like, I need to play this. This sounds cool. Again, also again, this is a thing that I reviewed in December, so it's been a while because it's March. It's been 3 months. Sometimes I have a little bit of a bad situation with this, but besides the point. It is a fun game. Again, on Twitch, it's not there, so don't bother on Twitch. They have a thing of like me cycling through, so I've deleted it. It's gone. Don't worry, but it is on YouTube. I also have a couple of shorts that are available for you to watch. It is fun. It is exciting, and yeah. But like I've been saying, it is fun. There's also a moment where this is another thing I do know. Again, I am mostly knowing my Sonic lore through either the villain, the sort of like, here's a good villain through Josh Scorcher, Blaze through Blaze versus Starfire, or the villain songs, where one of them is from, I think, one of the last games that is before this one. Not canonically, I don't think this is canonical in any way, but one of the last games was the thing with like the dad, and he made an AI who got deleted. She's alive in this, and because it's so sad, I'm like, this is canonical. She's alive. Don't question it. Shut up. It's like the way that I've heard the story and how she is important is so sad. It's legit. I won't play it. I'm not that good. I'm not that good at those types of games. Same with like RPGs. The same way, like there's a same reading. I said with Nita, I was like, I'm not good at these types of games, but it is interesting. But yeah, Smallville season 2. Again, complicated, but I'll get into it when I get to it. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like this video. And yeah, good night.